Welcome to Blind Bourbon and Whiskey Reviews. I'm your host Lindsay and this is Jon, risking his liver to discover new bourbons.
All right, we got another blind tasting off day. Little educational episode today. I think we'll both learn something too.
I think so. I mean, I have, just reading up about this.
I know a lot about this topic, bottled and bonded. We're going to just talk about bourbons today, but there are some ryes, there are some rums and brandies, corn whiskey.
Different stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff too.
Big variety.
So, what is bottled and bond?
So, I'm going to go over some of the history of it, and then Jon has way more knowledge of this stuff than I do. So, I just kind of researched the history of where it came up and where it started. So, I'm going to give you guys that information. I've just lost the word I was using. Coincidentally, Jon chose to drink E.H. Taylor tonight.
Yeah.
And he was one of the main contributors to pushing Congress.
Founding fathers in 1893?
Yes.
That's when they started pushing it, and it got passed in 1897.
Can I give the history lesson?
Well, I just know this because of bourbon. I mean, 1893, I knew that from podcasts. 1897, it's on a bottle of Old Forester Bottled and Bond, which I forgot on my list.
Oh, well.
Okay.
You suck at life. Anyways. So, in 1893, Colonel E.H. Taylor and a few other people got together because people were making whiskey, they were distilling whiskey, and they were adding it into barrels and jugs and selling it to people. Well, everybody wants to save a few bucks here and there. We've all done our shortcuts before. Well, they were shortcutting their whiskey, and they were doing it on sometimes catastrophic proportions. They were adding things. The distillers would add things to it to make it darker, to make it taste better, whatever. However, sometimes it would be tobacco, sometimes it would be iodine, sometimes it would be grain spirits. I don't know if that's like vodka or something. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
There's a lot of
Rusty
different
nails.
So they were putting a lot of weird things in with this whiskey, and it was actually the statement that was made by Susan Wall from Heaven Hill. She said that whiskey was sold out of huge barrels or jugs and was tainted with grain spirits, iodine, tobacco, and sometimes worse things, saving the distillers money but creating an adulterated and sometimes dangerous whiskey to unknowing consumers. And that was from Susan Wall from Heaven Hill. It was a statement that she made in an article about bottled and bond bourbon. And I thought that was really interesting because it makes sense that they were trying to save $1, and they probably didn't know that they were going to end up killing people.
Yeah.
But nowadays we know what that stuff can do to people back then.
All right, sorry for the quick break. Had a watery eye, itchy eye.
Oh, yeah.
So
that was really interesting to me. I thought that was really cool that she made that statement to people so people understand where it's coming from. So Taylor and a bunch of these other people in 1893 got together and started lobbying Congress to create the Bottled and Bond Act so that there was a regulation on whiskey. So people had to go by government regulation, and they weren't just allowed to sell anything all willy-nilly with rusty nails and iodine in it. So it took them 4 years. They finally got Congress to approve it, and in 1897, henceforth came the Bottled and Bond Act, which is still the same act that's enacted today for all bottled and bond whiskeys. So it was supported by E.H. Taylor. Edmund Haynes Jr. considered one of the founding fathers of bourbon.
Of bottled and bond bourbon.
Of bottled and bond bourbon. So that was kind of another cool snippet that we found as well. So some of the key points to bottled and bond is that the production of one distilling season from one distillery. It has to be aged in federally bonded warehouses of 4 years minimum, and it has to be bottled at 100 proof. So those are three. There's a few other little things, but those are the three main factors for it to be considered a bottled and bond.
Did you see what one season meant?
No.
Okay, so I saw something that it meant 1 year. I do not believe that one. I'm pretty sure it's 6 months as a distilling
season. Okay. So that's the history of it. So since 1897, these key factors of stuff that we're drinking today are still being used as bottles are considered to be bottled in bond. So they still go by those same guidelines. Do you want some of the bourbons that are bottled in bond? Or where do you wanna
Not
go?
yet.
Okay.
So I just want to say that bottled and bond saved bourbon. It's been a trend, and then it dies out. Prohibition killed it for a while, and then it died out in the 70s and 80s again. But bottled and bond, it really, what's the word? I just
What?
had a moment.
Intrigued?
It secures that, what is that word? Not secure. Make sure that you have good whiskey.
Ensures?
Ensures that you are getting a good quality bourbon. I mean, at least 4 years. So you're getting a good age. At least 100 proof, so it's not being watered down too much. Bourbon automatically doesn't have any colors added, but it ensures that, and the government keeps track of that. Ensures that it's in one distilling season by the same master distiller, so if they switch distillers, they can't use it. It really did save bourbon because it's just ensuring that quality.
That's what I'm saying. Everything about bottle and bond that I'm reading is all about the quality. That's all they're looking for. Is they're looking for a good quality that's a consistent standard. That's consistently across the board. It's not.
So
It's
bonded,
unadulterated.
yeah, bonded doesn't really mean a whole lot these days. It still does ensure quality, but there is quality all around bourbon now.
Right.
It's really changed that.
It's not the 1890s
There's only-
anymore.
Yeah, there's only a couple brands that really stick to the bottled and bond that I know of, and that's New Riff and E.H. Taylor. I mean, E.H. Taylor has a couple that aren't, but that's because it's barrel proof and it's not 100 proof, so. But those two really keep to the bottled and bond.
Yep.
So we're gonna go down. We're gonna try to find the best bottled and bond. Some of them on this list we have not tried, so we're just gonna kind of
We'll get there.
go with our best judgment. All right, so we're gonna do 16 bottled and bond only bourbons, and we're gonna get down to what we think is the best one. So first we have New Riff single barrel versus E.H. Taylor single barrel. Probably the two of the best on the list.
Two most coveted.
Yeah, I have not had New Riff. We don't have it in Michigan. I will get a bottle soon.
Okay, but out of those, we chose E.H. Taylor.
E.H. Taylor, because the single barrel is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. Had it in a couple restaurants. Have not found a bottle though.
Yep, we'll get there.
So E.H. Taylor single, we'll move on. Next is E.H. Taylor small batch versus New Riff bourbon. And I added a T to New Riff. That does not have a T.
So we chose New Riff.
Just because it's highly regarded, and the small batch is very good, but I think New Riff deserves to move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next one, Jim Beam bonded versus Evan Williams bottled and bond.
That's no question asked. It's Evan Williams. That's one of our favorites.
Beam is decent, but Evan Williams is very, very good.
Yeah, for what it is and the price point, it's very good stuff. So that one definitely moves on.
Old Granddad and Heaven Hill bottled and bond.
I'm a fan of Heaven Hill, and I think John kind of pulls that same way. So we chose Heaven Hill to move on with that.
Granddad is good, but Heaven Hill is pretty much a more aged Evan Williams. Evan Williams is 4 years. Heaven Hill was 6. I think they're either 7 or 8 now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Heaven Hill moves on. McKenna or Old Fitz?
We're going with Old Fitz because we have not been big fans of
yeah.
McKenna yet. So we're
Old
going to go
Fitz
with
is
Old
known
Fitz.
for quality, and their bottle is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we're going to get into a few that we don't know. T.W. Samuels and J.W. Dant. We're just going to go with Dant. We don't really know either of them. Next is two more we don't know about, Old Tub and JTS Brown. I'm actually going to change this because I know a little bit more about JTS Brown. JTS Brown will move on.
Okay.
And then the last two, Very Old Barton, Bottled and Bond. And I had Nicholson, but they did drop their Bottled and
Bottled
Bond.
and Bond, so
I'm going to change that to Old Forester. So, I'm going to move Old Forester on.
okay.
So we'll start at the bottom. Old Forester versus JTS Brown.
Probably Old Forester.
Old Forester, definitely.
Yeah.
I have had their Bottled and Bond a while ago, and it is good whiskey.
Okay.
Next, we're going to do Old Fitz versus J.W. Dant.
Oh, Old Fitz.
Old Fitz is the clear winner on that one.
Yeah.
Now, these two are going to get a little harder. Evan Williams, Bottled and Bond, and Heaven Hill.
I'm going to say Evan Williams, because
Yeah.
Evan Williams, I think, for what it is, it just overtakes everything. Oh, they 18
Evan Williams is one of my favorite, but
Yeah.
I can't get my hand on an old Heaven Hill. They don't make it anymore, and it was Kentucky only for a while, so I've never had that one. Their newer one, more aged, still haven't seen it, so I can't move them on. Alright, E.H. Taylor Single Barrel or New Riff Bourbon?
I'm going to say that we would probably pick each.
Yeah, without a doubt. Alright, so next round will be Old Forester versus Old Fitzgerald.
I don't know.
I'm thinking Forester.
I think so too.
I haven't had Old Fitz, so I can't really go with them.
I'm going to say Forester too.
Old Forester. E.H. Taylor or Evan Williams?
Definitely E.H.
Two
Taylor.
of my favorites, but E.H. Taylor is
E.H. Taylor would
one of the
outdo it
best.
just because of its quality. It's just there.
So now we got E.H. Taylor versus Old Forester.
So now we got some hunting to do.
Yeah. Old Forester is good, but E.H. Taylor Single Barrel, like I
think
said,
I would take
is
it.
one of the best I've ever had. So, E.H. Taylor, to me, is the best bottled and bond product out there.
Now, granted, we still have to pick up some of these bottles, and maybe
Yeah.
eventually we'll start doing like a head-to-head with this, but we'll see. That might be further down the
let
road.
us know which one is your favorite. Let us know if you know any more facts on bottled
Bottled
and
and
bond.
Bond, we'd love to hear them,
Yeah.
see where we're at. But there's your education for the day, folks. Bottled and Bond coming at you.
Please like and share us to social media, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to leave a suggestion for our next review. Thanks for watching.